So in today's session, what I'll be doing today, I'll be trying to just solve algebraic equations. So I'll try to maybe solve 2 or 3 question papers wherein I will do maybe your solve for x. After doing solve for x, I'll go and do your simultaneous equations. After simultaneous equations, what else will I do? I'll also maybe try to do simplifying expressions. So maybe we can start. Where's my calculator? So now, let's say that you're given a question like this. What you need to do here is you need to start by actually they've already simplified the equation for you or the question for you. So what you need to do here, you just have to say x is equals to a 0, or this will give you 5x plus a 2 is equals to a 0. So this one, the answer is already what? You already got the answer. So for this one now, it will just be x is equals to negative 2 over a 5. And then you're done. So now, let's move on to another question. So now, you might be given a question like this again. So I'll start with things which are much easier so that at least you can get what is happening. So you'll have 2x, and then the other one is minus a 3, and then is equals to a 4. So once you get something like this, because here you are having a 4 here, you need to first get the product of this and then rearrange this thing to be in a quadratic form or a quadratic expression. So you will have 2x squared and then minus 3x and then minus a 4. So once after getting this now, you will have to first check now, can you be able to factorize this thing maybe fully? By checking, you can see that, okay, there are no values which when you multiply them together, they give you a negative 4, but when you add them together, they give you a negative 3. So I would say that here, just use your quadratic formula, and then you just say 3 plus the square root of 3 squared minus 4. What is A? A is 2, and then what is C? C will be a minus 4. And then all divided by 2 multiplied by 2. So you'll see that here I'm doing this thing, or I'm using this equation wherein it's minus b plus or minus the square root of, we've got b squared minus 4ac divided by a 2a. So now what is happening is that I wrote minus into minus 3, and then plus or minus the square root of, what is b? B is just minus 3, and then squared plus, what is 4, and then what is your a? It's just a 2, and then what is your c? Your c is just a minus 4, and then all divided by, and then what is your a? Is just a 2. So you get something like this. So your answer now will give you, if it's a positive there, you get that x will be equals to, this will be 2.35. So this is a comma here. And then if you're to get something else, you get, for the negative, you will get x is equals to a negative 0.85. Yeah, you'll just write it like this. So this is when you get an expression or a question which maybe you cannot factorize here. What you need to do, you need to use a quadratic formula to do that. So let's move past that. And then So moving past that now, you'll see that let's come to an inequality. So now I will try to explain something before solving the inequality. So for the inequality, we are having x squared and then minus, what is it? Minus x and then minus a 6 and then greater and equals to a 6. So once you get something like this, what you need to do here, you need to rewrite this thing to be in what? In standard form. So rewriting what in standard form, it just means you'll have x, then squared, and then minus, then this is x. Bring the 6 this side, you'll have minus a 12. And then you'll have something like this now. So like I said, I'll try to explain something on this thing. So once you're dealing with inequalities, if you get this expression here, which is saying not a plus, a greater than and equal sign, it means your final answer needs to be what? It needs to say x is greater than the highest value which you'll get. So HV just means highest value. Okay, let me write it. Highest what? Highest value. And then, and it's greater than, so it means it will say also again x will be less than the what? The lowest value. So in this case, it just means because it's having an equal sign there, it just means it will still be the same thing as what I've written here. I'll just include the equal sign here. Equal sign here. So it means now you are going to factorize this thing the way you normally would factorize this. So factorizing, if you don't know how to factorize, you can use the quadratic formula which we just used previously. So here, I think the factors are just a 4 and a 3. So it will still say this. So in this case, you're going to have x here, and then also you're going to have x here. So after getting an x here, for you to get a negative 12, so it means you'll have a 4, and also you'll have a 3. So here you're having a negative 12, né? So it means one of these two needs to be a negative. And then what is this value which is here? This value which is here is a negative. So it means the 4, it's supposed to be the one who's negative. Because when you add the 4, the 4 and the 3, you'll get what? Negative 1 here. So this one will be positive. Now, if you are to check, if you were only having an equal sign here, it means your expression or your answer was going to say x is equals to a negative 3 and then x is equals to a 4. Do you see that the highest value is this one? This is your HV. And then let me write here H what? HV, and then here this is your LV. So your lowest value now is this one. So it means that this graph will say, no, not this graph. Yeah, I also forgot. When you draw the number line, it means here you'll draw it in this way. You'll have this and this. This will be your lowest value, and then this will be your high value. So it means it will be something like this, which goes this way, and also it will go that way. Your lowest value here is a what? It's a negative 3. So it means it will say x less and equals to a negative what? Negative 3. And then the next will be x is greater and equals to a 4. So this is actually what? Your answer. So now I can rub what? I can rub this part, because this part is not part and parcel of your answer. Here I was just showing you how to reach the final what? How to reach the final answer, or how to get the final answer. So this is what you get. So drawing a number line now, just because it has got an equal sign, it means your number line now will be something like this. It will be so here you will have this, also this here. This will be your -3, and then this will be your 4 here. Because it includes an equal sign, you then shade here, and then shade here, and then you go to the right, and also you go to the right. This means going to the left, that side, it just means x is it's less than and also equals to -3 and everything which is coming, because whatever is coming there is your -2, no, not -2, is your -4, and then minus what, -5, -6, minus what, -7. So it just means that. And then same applies with here. Here you'll be getting a 5, a 6, 7, and what? And also an 8. So this is just what it means. So then let's move on. And then let me just rub these. Let's say now they've given you a question, and they'll give you a question like this. Sometimes they'll say 2 to the power of x plus a2, and then plus i2, and then x minus a2, and then what? Then plus a2 to the power of what? To the power of x, and then equals to 40 what? 42. So once you get something like this, you need to okay, let's first check. Here you are having what? Here you are having 2 to the power of x plus this plus this. I'll say that try to check if there is any common factor here. If you have to check, here there is 2 to the power of x, there is also 2 to the power of x here, and also here there is 2 to the power of x. So you need to just inspect here. I know sometimes it's difficult to just check, but try to inspect, okay, is there a 2 to the power of x which I can get on all these 3 terms? Because if you can check here, this is not a multiplication, it's an addition. So it means these are 3 terms. If it was multiplication, there was no need for me to, or there was no need for us to check for a common factor, because we'll just multiply this, and then just add the exponents. So in this case, let's rewrite them in the individual forms. So we'll have 2 to the power of x multiplied by 2 to the power of 2, and then plus 2 to the power of x multiplied by 2 to the power of -2, plus 2 to the power of x is equals to 42. So once you have this now, do you see that you do have a common factor, which is 2 to the power of x, 2 to the power of x, 2 to the power of x. So what you need to do now, you just say we are removing the 2 to the power of x as a common factor, and then open bracket, you'll be left with, this is 2 to the power of 2, so it will just give us a 4, plus this is 2 to the power of -2, so it will just be 1 over a 4. And then this side, you're just left with the 1, because when you remove this, you'll be left with 1. And then the 42, just keep it the way it is. And then now, moving on, we'll say that let's add what is here. So adding now, it means we'll just say 4 plus 1 over a 4, and then plus 1. Here you'll get 21 divided by 4, and then it's equals to 42, and then here to be 2 to the power of x. So in this case now, you can then now take this and then take it to the right. By taking it to the right, it means you'll have 42. You'll say 42 multiplied by what? By 4. So it will say, let me write it like this. It will say 42 multiplied by 4 divided by what? Divided by the 21. So it will be something like this. So here you'll be left with 2 to the power of what? 2 to the power of x. So now, when you have something like this now, it just means like, or it just means, say, you can use a calculator here actually. You can just say 42 multiplied by 4 divided by 21. You'll see that you get an 8. You get 8 to the power of what? X. Now, what is 8? 8, you can rewrite it in the form of 2 to the power of 3, if I'm not mistaken. And then here to be 2 to the power of x. Now, if you have to check here, your bases are the same. So if your bases are the same, what does it mean for your what? For your exponents? It means that you'll say x is equals to x is equals to a 3. So it means like you equate the what? The exponents. So this is just what you do when you get a question like this. So here I can just say the tricky part here was just to identify what? Identify the common factor here. And then you're done. Then now let's move on to the next what? Let's move on to the next question. Yeah, I'll say don't try to cram these things, because if you try to cram, that's where when they bring a different question, you will struggle. So I'll just say, just try to understand the concept itself. Now I'm going to talk about SADS. Solving for x, which includes what? SADS is just that thing which is like a square root, wherein you'll have this for x, and then minus 11. This is for x. Minus 11 is equals to, I think, a 2 minus what? Minus an x. So once you get a question like this, you need to find the values, or you need to find the factors. So when you're finding the values here, you need to also substitute the answers at the end. So you find that here you firstly need to remove this square root. So removing the square root, you'll have to square both sides, because this will say 4x minus 11, and then this square root will be here. Or let me rewrite it in a proper way. This is just 1 over a 2. Now you will multiply it with a 2. Same applies to the right hand side. You'll say, open bracket, this is 2 minus x, and then to the power of 2. So once you have something like this now, just means you'll cancel this and cancel that, and then you'll be left with 4x minus an 11 is equals to, now this is the same as 2 minus x, and then multiply by 2 minus an x. So once you have something like this now, you can then say 2 multiplied by 2, it will just give you 4 minus 2x minus a 2x, and then plus an x squared. Minus an x squared. Sorry for my 2 here. So now this side you still be having the 4x, and then minus what? Minus 11. So once you have something like this now, just try to bring this side, so that they can you can add and subtract the like terms. So it means you'll have x squared, and then this and this will give you a negative 4 Negative 4x. When you bring the x this side, it will be 4x. When you turn this 4 and bring it this side, it will be a negative 4, which is this one. Take the 11 to that side, you'll have a positive 11, and then you still be having this 4 plus a 4 is equals to a 0. So once you have this now, it just means you can say x squared minus 8x, And then 11 plus this will just give you a 15 plus a 15 is equals to a 0. Now try to factorize this. So trying to factorize, you need factors which when you multiply them together, they give you a 15. But when you add them together, they give you a negative 8. So here you just have to say this is x here. The factors which give you a 15 is just a 3 and a 5. So it will be minus 3 and also x minus 3. No, not minus 3. A 5. Yeah. The reason I'm saying minus 5 and minus 3 is because when I add the minus 3 and minus 5, they give me minus 8. So that's the reason. And then equals to a 0. So it means here your answer will be x equals to a 3, and then x is equals to a what? A 5. So once you have this now, it just means go and test these values and see if indeed they are part and parcel of the answer. So testing, you do this, or when you're testing, you do this. You go back to the what? You go back to the original equation. Where there is x, go and replace with the what? Go and replace with these values. So I'll try to replace here. So you'll have square root, and then it will say 4. Then where there's an x, you place a 3, and then minus 11. And then this is just the right hand side. Let's say this is the right hand side. So if this is the right hand side, how much do you get? You'll see that you will have 4 multiplied by 3 and then minus 11. You see that, okay, when you replace, you get a 1. Then now let's test on the left hand side. So say left and what? Left hand side. When we replace with what? With 3, how much do we get? So we'll say 3, no, to say 2 minus a 3. Do you see that you get a negative 1? And then, sorry, here we get this, because this is a square root, we get a plus or a minus. So it means this, here you got a negative 1, here also a negative 1 is there because of this square root. So it means this 3 is part and parcel of your answer. Do you get it? So let's test for the 5. So testing for the 5, we do the same thing. So now where there is a 3, now we're placing a 5, or where there's an x, we're placing a 5. So now I will say this. I'll say the square root of 4 and then a 5 here, and then minus 11 here. And then this side, I'll be having what? I'll be having a 2 minus a 5, which will just give me a minus what? A minus 3. And then this side, how much will I get? I'll say I'll get a 3. Do you see that this side we get plus or minus a 3? Because this is the what? This is the square root. This side you get a negative 3. So it means also this is part and parcel of your answer. So both of them, they are accepted as answers. And then what? And then you're done. So this is how you do what? This is how you solve for x, including what? Including stats. So let's wrap this. Now let's come to a different word, a different question now. Let's talk about maybe simplifying an expression. So for simplifying an expression, you'll get something like this. You will have this is simplify. simplifying what? Simplifying the expression. So you will have the square root of what? You will have the square root of 7, and then 2011, and then minus square root of 7, 2009, and then all divided by, and then 2000 and what? 2008. 2000, no, this is 7 to the power of 2000 and what? 2008. So now what you need to do here, and then there's also an addition of square root of 7. So guys, when you get a question like this, I think I'm missing something here. 2011. After 2011, what do you have? Oh, it's a squared. Okay. So it's squared. So once you have a question like this, now, do you see that the one which is having the lowest exponent here is 2008? So try to change the 2011 and also the 2009 to be more like 2008, so that you can remove this 2008. So what you can do here, you can start by saying, okay, I'll have let's rewrite 2009 to be more like 2008. Yeah, sure. Then here you'll have let's say this, you'll say the square root of 7, and then to the power of let me say because we need to make it to be more like, okay, let's say this is 2008, and then now multiply by the square root of, and then this is 11, so I'll say 7 to the power of 3. So it will say 8 plus 3 to say 9, 10, 11, and gives me 2011. And then now minus, here it just means I'll have square root of 7, 2008, 2008, yeah. And then multiply by 7 to the power of of 1. So that when I add these two things, the 8 and 1, they give me a 9. And then I'll just write this. Then I have the square root of 7, 2008. Then plus the square root of 7. So this will say you still keep the squared, which is here. So now, do you see that now you have 2008 and also 2008 and also 2008? So now try by all means to cancel now the like terms. So for you to be able to cancel the like terms now, it means you have to you need to remove 2008 as a common factor here on top, because you're having a negative. A negative here just means these are two terms. You're subtracting two terms. So now let's do it. Let's remove a common factor of square root of 7 to the power of 2008. So you'll have 7, 2008, then the square root like this. And then now you'll be left with the square root of Square root of 7 to the power of 3 minus square root and then 7 to the power of 1, and then this, and all divided by square root of 7 to the power of 8, and then all these things you left to the power of 2 here, and then to the power of 2 like that. So, oh sorry, I'm forgetting the square root of 7 here, plus the square root of 7 and then 2 here. Do you see now that you can now cancel this and cancel that? So after cancelling now, we are left with 7 to the power of 3 now. Now try to get the square root of what? 7 to the power of 3. You'll see that this thing now will give you, what is inside the brackets there, will give you 7 here, and also a what? And also a 7 here. And then you'll have minus the square root of 7 to the power of 1 is just 7, the square root of 7, plus the square root of 7. And all these things, they're being squared. Now, you'll see that this one and this one, they go out. So it means you'll just be left with 7 to the power of, 7, the square root of 7. And then this is what? This is squared. So now, your final answer now will just be this 7 root 7, and then you'll what? You'll just square it. So this will be 7 root 7, and then close it. Close it, then say squared. It means you get 3, 4, 3. And then this is your final answer. Do you see that? So this is what you are, maybe you're supposed to do when you're asked to simplify maybe an expression which involves exponents. So I think the tricky part here was only to make what 2009 to be more like what 2008, and also 2011 to be more like 2008, so that you can have values which you can cancel them, or which can be able to cancel each other, so that you can be left with the simplified form of this word, of this expression. So that's the thing. So maybe let's move on to the next question. So now, let me get another question. Now, let's solve a simultaneous equation now. I'm just trying to incorporate everything here. They're saying what? Let's see. So you've got a simultaneous equation. So once you're having a simultaneous equation, let me write the equation itself. This is 2, and then this is x minus a y is equals to what? Is equals to a 3, and then you also get x squared, and then plus 5xy, and then plus y squared is equals to 15. So once you get a question like this, I'll just say, just pause a bit and then try to check, okay, when you're having something like this, what you need to do here is that you need to try and make maybe what? Try to make x the subject to the formula, or y the subject to the formula, so that you can be able to replace it back in this equation. So maybe I'll give you a minute to try and think. So once you get something like this, as I mentioned, it means like now here, make y the subject of the formula, because it's much easier like that. So you say y is equals to, this will say 3 minus 2x, meaning this will be your equation 1. Say this is equation 2 now. So now your next step should be what? To substitute equation 1 into equation 2. So once you have something like that now, it just means like now you can then say, okay, here I substitute this to be what? I made y the subject of the formula, and then I got 3 minus 2x. So let me substitute it here. So substituting, it means you'll have x squared minus 5 into, this is 3 minus 2x, and then this will be a y here plus y squared. No, I'm making a mistake here. Yeah, this will just be x here, and then where there is y, you're placing 3 minus 2x, and then plus where there is y, you place 3 minus 2x, and then equals to, this is squared here, plus a 15. So once you have this now, let's simplify. Simplifying, it means we'll have x, then minus, this is x squared, then it will say 5x multiplied, negative 5x multiplied by 3. It means you get negative 15 what? 15x. Now, negative 5 multiplied by negative 2, you get a positive what? 10x squared. Now, when you're simplifying this, it means you'll have plus here. What you're going to get in the brackets, it will be what? 9 minus, you're going to say this is 3 to the power of 2, which is this one, you get a 9. Then say 3 multiplied by 2, you get how much? You get a 6. 6 multiplied by 2, it means you get a 12 here, negative 12, then x. And then here you're going to get what? Negative 2 squared. It means it will give you positive 4x squared. And then you close the bracket and then still equate to what? 15. Now, group the like terms now. You'll see that you'll have, let's add x and this, you'll get what? 11. You just get 11, then the x what? X squared. And then now you still be having this negative 15x. And then now you will have plus a 9, which is that one, minus a 12x, and then a plus 4x squared minus a 15 is equals to a 0. Now, after getting that now add and subtract the like terms. Here you've got 11 and then 4. It means you'll have what? 15x. 15x squared. Now, 15x and 12x, how much will you get? You'll get negative 17, negative 27x. And then now you're left with this one and this one. So it means negative what? 15 plus a 9, you're going to get, I think you're going to get a negative what? 6 here is equals to a 0. So now here you can choose to first divide the whole equation by 3. It means here you're going to get a 5x squared minus 27 divided by 3. You're going to get a 9, and then x, then minus a 2 is equals to a 0. Now let's try to factorize this. So factorizing, you get 9 plus the square root of 9 squared minus 4a. A is 5, and then c minus 2 divided by 10. So it means here your factors are just going to be x, and then a minus 2, and then an also what? 5x, and then plus a 1 is equals to this. So it means here you get your x value to be x is equals to a 2, and then here you get x being what? Negative 1 over a 5. So now take these two numbers, these ones, and replace them back here so that you can be able to get your value of what? Of y. So it means for this one, we'll say our y value is this. It will be 3 minus, then this will be 2, and then into, this is a 2 here. It means here you get 3 minus a 2. How much do you get? Actually minus a 4. It means you get minus 1. Then this side, y is equals to, this will be a 3 minus a 2 into negative 1 over a 5. This is this. So here you'll have 3 minus 2 into a negative 1 over 5. Then you'll see that you get what? 17 over a 5. So these are your values of y. So that's it. So now let me check for a different question paper which I can be able to assist you. So now they will give you a question. Let's go back and start again from solving for x. So it means this one, Rabia. Today we're just doing algebra, né? And then the next session I'll talk about something else. Maybe talk about trig identities or trig equations or general solutions. Then or trig ratios. Here, let's say that they give you an equation. This is solve for x. So once you get this, they'll say maybe x, then minus 2, open bracket, and then 3x plus, is it plus? Yeah, plus a 4. Okay. When they give you a question like this, what you need to do here, you need to try and make it to be, how can I place this? You need to try and, there's no need for you to find the product here. There's no need for you to find the product. So here, it's like they've already factorized for you. So it means you just have to say x minus a 2 is equals to a 0, or 3x plus a 4 is equals to a 0. So it means here you'll have x is equals to a 2, and then x will give you a negative 4 over a 3. And then you're done. And then let's say, let's solve this one where it needs more like an inequality. At least this time around they gave us a different one from the previous one. So here you are having, it's still the same question. You're having x, you're saying minus a 3, and then not minus 3, minus 2, and then open bracket, and then 3x plus a 4. And then they say what, close bracket, and then a less than. Okay, let me try to explain something here when it comes to the part of inequalities. So if they've given you an inequality like this one, what you need to do is that you need to, how can I place it? Okay, when you get an inequality which is saying less than, it means your answer of x is supposed to give you something like this. So it means x is supposed to be greater than the lowest value. LV just means lowest value, né? LV means lowest value, and then this side it will be the highest highest value. HV just means highest value. Now when you draw the number line, now it means the number line will be something like this, because here x is in the middle because of the inequality sign of less than. This happens every time with the less than inequality. So you need to take that into consideration. Every time when you get a less than inequality, it means your final answer is supposed to be something like this, wherein this will be the lowest value and then this will be the highest value. So if we can just check here, the one which is going to be the lowest value is going to be this one, because for this one at the end you're going to get maybe x is equals to what? Negative 4 over a 3, and then this side you're going to get x is equals to a what? A 2. If you're to check here, the lowest value here is 3 over what? 3 over 4, negative 3 over 4. It means this negative 3 over 4 is supposed to come here, and then this 2 here is supposed to come here. You see that? So now it means when you're drawing your number line, you'll place it like this. Now your 2 will be here, and then your negative 4 over a3 will be here. So in this case, it just means because there's no equal sign involved there, so here it will just be an open cycle and also an open cycle here. So it means this thing will be something like this, and then you're done with your number with your number line or an inequality. So that's it. Then now let's go to an equation wherein maybe they didn't give you, you're unable to factorize. So if you're unable to factorize by means of like inspection or without using a calculator, it means you need to use the quadratic formula. So you'll get maybe something like 5x squared, and then what? And then minus 11x, and then plus a 4 is equals to a 0. So maybe if you can just check, maybe before you even start, you can see that there are no factors which when you multiply them together, they give you a 4, but when you add them, they give you a negative 11, even though this 5 is there. Do you see that? So now here you can just use your quadratic formula. So using the quadratic formula, it means you'll get the following. You'll say, okay, my quadratic formula says minus b plus or minus the square root of, this is b squared minus 4ac, all divided by what? By 2a. So now, what is your b? Your b is just the minus 11, so you'll have minus 11 and then plus or minus, and then here you'll have the square root of, what is b? B again is still minus 11 squared minus 4. What is a? A is just a 5, and then what is c? C is just a 4, and then all divided by what? By 2a. What is a? A is just a 5. So now punch that in your calculator, you get minus 11 plus the square root of what? Of okay, here you'll have here it's supposed to be a negative 11. 11 plus the square root of 11 squared minus 4. A, what is a? A is just a 5, and then what is c? C is just a 4. Or all divided by, what is an a? A is a 5. So it means here you'll get the first value of x being 1.74, and then you'll get the next one being, you get 0.459. So you get something like this as your two values of what? As your two values of x. So now let's get maybe a different question. Now the one which I'm seeing there, it's more like fractions. Maybe you'll be asked to solve for x by means of what? Of fraction. Here it's more like a fraction. So now you are having what? You are having something like 4 over, this is x plus a 3, and then plus this is x divided by x minus a 1, and then is equals to, this is 12x, and then plus 20, and then all divided by what is this? This is x. This is what? x2, and then plus 2x minus a 3. Okay. To make this thing to be easier for you, maybe start here. Here it means you need to factorize this and also factorize what is here on top. because you might find that within this here there are things which will divide. Maybe you find that what is on top here will cancel what is with what is here on the on the numerator. So let's start here. So factorizing here to be like, okay, what factors go there on 12 into 12 and also 20? You find that the highest factor which goes there is a 4. Then it means you'll have 4 multiplied by 3 is a 12, meaning this will be 3x, and then plus, how many times does 4 goes into a 20? I think it goes 5 times. So you'll have what? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Yeah, it goes 5 times here. Then all divided by what? Underneath here, how can you factorize these? Factors which when you multiply them together, they give you a negative what? Negative 3. But when you add them together, they give you a 2. That's just more like a 3 and a 1. So which one needs to be a positive? Is the 3 here. Because when you add this 3 and this negative 1 here, they should give you a positive 2. So here you'll have x and then x. So now, let's start here now. Let's come back here. It means here you'll have x divided by x minus 1, and then 4 here divided by x plus a 3. This thing is like this now. Do you see that there's things or there are things which are more like the same? If you have to check here, you can see that there is x minus 1 and also there is x plus 3. I don't know if you want me to just use this and multiply the whole equation, or just do it one by one using this. This one, I multiply the whole equation. This one, I multiply the whole equation. Okay, or maybe let me just do it in that way. It will be more clear if I do it that way. Now, let's multiply the whole equation by what? By x plus 3. So let me write here. Okay, I'll say 4 divided by x plus a 3. Now we are multiplying the whole equation by x plus a 3 because we are trying to remove it from being what? From being a denominator. And then here it's a plus, so it will say plus here. It means I'll have x divided by x minus 1. And then I'll also multiply it by what? X plus a 3. And then is equals to is equals to, and then a 4 into 3x and then plus a 5, then all divided by, this is an x minus 1 and then x plus a 3. And then also here I'm multiplying with what? With x plus a 3. So if you have to check now, this and this here now will go out. And then also here, this and this will what? Will go out. So it means now, it's like this. Now it means like it will say a 4 plus, here on top you'll be having x multiplied by x plus a 3 is equals to, this will still be saying 4 into 3x plus a 5. Here we still have the x minus what? Minus 1. So now let us do the same thing now. Let us multiply the whole equation by what? By x minus 1. Here you're still left with x minus 1. So now it means you'll have 4 multiplied by what? 4 multiplied by x minus 1. Because we are trying to remove this from being what? A denominator now. And then this will be x, I'm going upwards, x plus a 3, then all divided by x minus a 1, x minus a 1 is equals to 4 into 3x plus 5 divided by x minus a1. Then this will be x minus a1. Now, if you are to check now, do you see that there are things which will cancel here? It means this one now will go out, and this one will go out, this will go out, and also this will go out. So it just means like now you'll be left with 4x minus a 4, and then on top there you'll just be left with plus. If we were to multiply there, we'll just have x squared plus 3x. Now let's rewrite this like this so that at least it can match with this, so that it can be easy for us to add and subtract. So we'll say it's equals to 12x plus a 20. Now let's bring this to the left hand side. So I'll have, let me manage my space, 2, and then a plus a 4, or okay, let me say 4 here, which is this 4, and then this 3 plus 3x minus this 12, minus 12 when it comes this side. Now place this negative what? Place this negative 4 and this 20 now. Negative what? Negative 20 is equals to a 0. So once you have something like this now, add the like terms. It means here you'll still be having x what? X squared. It has not been changed. And then 4x and this, you will just get what? 4x plus 3x, you get a 7. 7 minus a 12, I think you get a 4 there. Negative 4x. Because it says 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, you get what? This will be this. 7 minus a 12, it will give you a 4. And then here you'll get what? Minus 20 what? 24 is equals to a 0. So now try to factorize this thing. Now you can say 4 plus the square root of 4 squared minus 4a. What is a? And then c, so say minus 24 divided by 2. Let's check. Didn't I make a mistake somewhere? And then this will give me 4x 12. 4 multiplied by this still give me a 20. Then here we have x squared, then 3x, and 3x this side over 4x. Yeah. Oh no, it's correct. This is 4x and then negative 4. That's fine. There's no other squared here. X squared is this 4, and this will give me a 7. Then 7 minus 12, yeah, gives me a 5. Sorry, you get a 5 here. And then if you were to get a 5 here, where else did I make a mistake? Negative 4 and a negative 20 gives you negative 20 what? 24. Now this will give me 5 plus the square root of 5 squared minus 4a. What is a is 1, and what is c? It's negative 24 divided by 2. So it means here you'll have x minus an 8, and then x plus a 3 is equals to 0. Then it means here you'll have x is equals to an 8 and x is equals to minus what? Minus 3. And then that's your what? And then that's your final answer. So this is just what you have to basically do when you get this type of a question. And then let's move on and then try to solve a simultaneous equation. I think on this question people will move a bit fast. So now let's move on to a simultaneous equation. We just try to move this. So now for a simultaneous equation, it means you have got 3y and then plus x is equals to a 2, and then you've got y. This is squared. You forgot to write what we are solving here. So this is simultaneous equation. So if this is this, so it means you will have the following. You will have 3y, you're having 3y plus x is equals to a 2. And then what's the next one? The next one is y squared plus what? Plus x. It gives you xy. And then after xy, and then they say plus y. So plus y. So if you're to check, you can name this to be equation 1, and then this one to be equation what? To be equation 2. Now, by just looking here, you can see that it's much easier for you to make what? To make x the subject of the formula on this first what? On this first equation, as compared to this one. This one, yes, we can make x to be what? The subject of the formula, but I think this one is more complicated. I can still do it in this way, but it's much easier if you're just simplifying what? Using this way. So here, you just say this is x is equals to, this is 2 minus 3y. You name this equation 1. And then this one, you can maybe also do the same thing here. Let me not do what I'm thinking. Let's just solve it in a normal way. This one here, it will give you equation 2. Now, here, it means wherever there is an x, I'm going to place what? I'm going to place this. So doing that, no, I'm not going to place that, sorry. I'm going to place this. So it just means now you will have y squared plus, where there is an x, place this. You'll have 2 minus 3y, and then is equals to, and then where there is an x, this is y here, we'll have 2 minus 3y, and then plus. It just means where there is a y now, okay, you just keep it like that, a y. Then it means here you'll have what? Y squared, and then minus, this will just give you a 2 minus 3y is equals to, this will just be 2y, and then minus, this is going to give you 3, and then y squared. Then from there on, you just have plus a y. Now group the like terms. Grouping just means take this to the left hand side. So it means you'll have y squared, and then minus what? Okay, let's say I'm bringing this. It will be plus 3y squared. Now I'm grouping the y's now. 3y minus 2y, which is this when it goes this side, and then minus a y is equals to a 0. So it means you have got something like that now. Meaning here you'll have 4y squared, and then this we just have negative 7y. No, I'm lying. Here you'll have negative what? Negative 3, and then negative this, it will give you negative what? Negative 5. Then negative 5, this will give you a negative 5, then negative 6. Here we missed this. It was supposed to be here. Minus what? Minus 2 is equals to a 0. Because I think it's the only variable without, it's the only number without a variable. So now it will give you minus 2 here equals to a 0. Now divide the whole equation by what? By 2. You get y squared. 2 minus 3, this is y minus a 1 equals to this. Now don't stress yourself while you can use what? A calculator, but at least you should know. Here you get a 3 plus the square root of 3 squared minus 4a. What is a? 2, and then you see minus what? Minus 1 divided by 2 as a. And then here I'm missing something. I am missing something. This is 2 y squared minus 2 3y. Why is this? This is y minus 3y squared plus a y. Okay, it's fine. Let me check here. This is, oh yeah, no. Yeah, I made a mistake here. I forgot this squared here. And then this is not supposed to be like this here. This y squared plus what? This is 2 minus 3, what? 3y. And then okay, this is y squared plus x is equals to, oh, no. This is y indeed, and then 2 minus 3, what? 3y, then plus a y. So now where am I getting it wrong? Here you still have your y squared plus, this is a 2 minus a 3y, and then is equals to 2y, then minus this will give me 3y squared plus a y. So on the right hand side I'll be having 3y minus 3y squared. On this side I'll still be having y squared plus 2 minus 3y. Now grouping the like terms, it means I'll have y squared plus 3y squared, y squared, and this one, it's fine, and then minus 3y minus 3y plus a 2 is equals to a 0. And then here this 2 will give me a 4y squared. This will give me minus 3, no, not 3, minus a 6y plus a 2 is equals to a 0. I'm coming back to the same, more like the same thing. Here you'll have 2y squared, dividing the whole equation by 2, and then here to be a 3y plus a 1 equals to this. Then let me use a calculator. 3 plus square root of 3 squared minus 4a. A is a 2, then c is just a 1 divided by 4. Yeah, now I'm getting y minus 1, and then y to say 2y minus 1 equals to this. So it means like now I get y is equals to a 1 and y is equals to 1 over a 2. Now these values which I got, I need to I need to come back here and insert those values so that I can be able to get the x value. So it means I'll start by saying x is equals to, this will be 2 minus 2, then where there is no, this is a 3, and then where there is a y, you'll get 1, and then is equals to, this is 2 minus 3 to just give us a 1, and then here you'll have x is equals to 2 minus 3 into 1 over 2. This will just give us 2 minus 3 over 2. Then you can use a calculator. 2 minus 3 over 2. The answer will just give you half, which is 1 over 2. So this is how you're supposed to solve what? In a simultaneous what? A simultaneous equation. So now, let's move past this. So moving past this, I don't know if I should open another algebraic what? Question paper. Okay, let's do this one. I'm placing this thing away. Okay, now I'm going back to solve for x now. Here, this is x. Solve for x. So now solving for x, this one I'm giving a equation which is saying 2x into x minus a 1 divided by 2, and then s equals to a 0. So now, once you get a question like this, I'll say that this is more easier if you just find what there's no need for you to find the product here. Don't multiply here. Just say 2x is equals to a 0, or x minus 1 over a 2 is equals to a 0, and then x, divide both sides by 2. So you say 2 this side, 2 this side, you just get x is equals to a 0. Now come this side, you just have x is equals to 1 over a 2, and then that's it. And then let's come to another question. Coming to the next question, you will have something like what? You'll have something like this. You'll have it will say 4x squared, and then plus, what is that? 11x is equals to a 2. So once you get a question like this, now what you need to do here first, it means that you need to first remove, you need to bring the 2 to the left hand side. So bringing the 2 to the left hand side, it means you will have, let's say, 4x squared, then plus 11x, then minus 2 is equals to a 0. So once this thing is like this, now you need to first inspect this thing. Can you be able to factorize this thing? If you can't, it means that you need to use a quadratic formula. So if in a question they will normally say that leave the answer in 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places. So if they say that, it means that you need to use this formula. So it means you need to use this formula in order to solve what? In order to solve this question. So now let's just replace. So it means we'll have what? X is equals to negative. What is b? It's just an 11 plus or minus the square root of what is b? A b again is still 11 squared plus 4a. What is a? Is it plus here? It's minus. I'm surprised. Minus 4a. What is a? A is just a 4 into c is just a minus 2. And then all divided by 2a. What is a? A is just a 4. And then this is something like this. So now, just means punch this thing within a what? In a calculator, you get this 11, and then plus the square root of 11 squared minus 4a. What is a? A is 4. 4 into negative 2 divided by 2 into a 4. So doing this, it means you get x is equals to 0.171. The next one will be what? Will be negative 2.92. So this is this. So this is how you solve a question wherein there are no factors. So let's move past that and then go to the next question. So the next question is more like SADS. SADS is more like wherein it's a question wherein there is more like those things of like square root. So in those kinds of questions, it just means you need to test your answer at the end of the at the end of solving. Let's say they'll give you minus and then the square root of what is this? This is 8 minus 2x, then is equals to 0. So when I say a SAD, it's just this square root here. So it means every answer which you get after solving here, you need to come back and replace back to see that, to check if you get the same answers on both sides. That is the left hand side and the right hand side. It means the answers which you replace here, they're supposed to give you a 0 so that the answers can be can be correct. If they don't give you that, it means those answers which you got, they're not part and parcel of the solution for this for this question. So now let's solve. So once you get this, it just means you'll have to take this x to the right hand side. You'll have this, and then 8 minus 2x is equals to negative what? Negative x. So now divide both sides by negative. So dividing both sides by negative, let me just do that. Negative, it just means this will be the square root of 8 minus what? 2x is equals to an x. Now remove the square root. So to remove the square root, it means you need to square both sides. Now you need to say 2 here, 2 here, because whatever you do on the left hand side, you also need to do it on the on the right hand side. So after that, now it just means you will how can I place this? Now this one of the square root here is the same as 1 over what? Is the same as 1 let me write so that you can see. This is the same as 8 minus 2x to the power of what? To the power of to the power of 1 over a 2, and then multiply by a 2 this side is equals to, this side will just give you an x squared. So if you have to check here, the situation in which you're getting there, it's more like 1 over 2 multiplied by a 2, wherein the 2 and 2 will what? The 2 and 2 will cancel. That's the story which is playing here. So here you just have 2 and 2 which will go out, and then you'll be left with 8 minus 2x is equals to x squared. Now take everything maybe to the right hand side. It will give you x squared, and then plus 2x, then minus minus 8. Now you need to find values which when you multiply them together they give you negative 8, but when you add them together they give you plus 2. So those two things is just what? Or those two factors will just be this will just be x here. Then here it means you'll get a 4 here, and then here it will be a 2. Then the one which needs to be a negative here, it's supposed to be this one. Because when you add the 4 and the negative 2, they'll give you a positive 2. But when you multiply the negative 2 and the positive 4, they'll give you a negative 8. Then this is the thing. And then it means here you've got x is equals to a 2 and x is equals to a negative 4. Now, do you see this? Go and replace it back here. Come and replace it here. So replacing it just means wherever there is an x, you're going to place what? You're going to place a 2. So let's start now. Maybe let me use a different color here. Here it means where there is an x, I'm going to place a 2. We are starting with 2 here. And then minus the square root of what? 8 minus where there is x, I'm going to place a 2. And then this is this is the left hand side. This is the left hand side. And then it means the left hand side will give me 2 minus the square root of 8 multiplied by what? By 2. So it will say 2 minus the square root of 2 minus what? 2 minus the square root of 8 minus 2 into 2. You get a 0. So if you have to check something, it means on your left hand side, you got a 0. And then here, this is your right hand what? This is your right hand side. And writing. This is your right hand side. It means on your right hand side also you have got what? You have got a 0. So it means this is part and parcel of your answer. So it forms part of the solution. So let's do the same thing here. On the left hand side, let's replace now. Where there is an x, we are replacing with a negative 4. It means negative 4 here minus the square root of what? 8 minus 2 into what? I'm writing a 2 like an x here. This is 2 into negative 4. So this here, just do this with a calculator maybe. This will give you negative 4, then minus the square root of 8 minus 2 into negative 4. Here, you get the answer you get an answer which is saying negative 8. So if you have to check, the left hand side is saying negative 8, whereas the right hand side is what? Is saying a 0. So it means this is not your solution. You can write not applicable. NA just meaning this one. It's not part and parcel. It's not part and parcel of your what? Of your answer. So this is this. Then now the next question which I'm saying there, it's talking about inequality. So I think on our 2 previous questions, I think I explained, okay, when you get a negative or a less than inequality, what do you do? So maybe let me just try to explain it maybe for the last time now. So here, let's say, just fix this. I just want to try and explain what happens when maybe you get an inequality. When you get an inequality equation, what you need to do maybe. So let's say that you are having what? Let's say that you are having an inequality. Where's the marker? You are getting an inequality. The final answer, when you are towards the final answer, it's saying greater than. So if it's saying greater than, I think I mentioned that if maybe let's say you're behaving, maybe I'm just making an example, x minus a 1, and then x maybe plus a 2. Then if you have to check this is more like your final step before the final answer, because here, if here it was an equal sign, it was supposed to say x is equals to a 1 and x is equals to a negative 2. This was supposed to be your answer if it was what? If it was an equal sign here. But now because it's saying greater than, I said you need to say that your x value will be like this. Your final answer will be x less than the lowest what? Lowest value. Lowest what? Let me write it in full. Lowest what? Lowest value. And then the next one, it will be x greater than what? Your highest value. So this is what you come across, or you will come across when you're doing inequality. So if it says greater than greater than inequality sign, it just means your final answer needs to say x is less than the lowest value, which in this case the lowest value is what? It's a negative 2. It's what? It's a negative 2 here. And then the highest value in this case, it's x equals to what? It's x equals to 1. So it's here. So now your final answer will say x less than minus what? Minus 2, and also x greater than 1. So this is your final what? This is your final answer. So here I was just showing you. Don't mind this. Now, when you draw the number line, this, so it means your number line will be check. It means your number line now. My phone was ringing, and then here it will be 1 here. Here it will be negative. Here it will say this. Because here it's saying x less than minus 2, it means it will say something like this. Here it's saying x greater than 1. It will say something like that. If now there was an equal sign now here, let's say there was an equal sign, it was saying equal sign, it means this shaded, this circle here, now it should be shaded now. To be what? To be shaded. The shading is just saying that these values are included in this what? In this answer. So that's the thing. Now let's talk about a situation wherein maybe your final answer here, it's saying less than a 0. So if it's saying less than a 0, I will wrap this. And then let me say here, you will say less than a 0. So if you have to say that less than a 0, it means, again I'm going to say if it was an equal sign here, it means it was going to say x is equals to a 1 and x is equals to a negative 2. Once you are having this now, it means the inequality, this less than inequality, means that your final answer should say this. This will be the lowest what? This will be the highest value. Highest value, I'll just write HV, and then here I'll write LV. LV just means what? Lowest what? Lowest value. So if you have to check between these two things, you'll see that the lowest value here, it's minus 2. So this will say minus 2 this side, less than, and then x here, and then this will be a 1 here. You get it? So now when you're drawing that number line, it means you will draw the number line like this, and then this will be a minus 2 here, and then this will be a 1 here. So let me write it here, minus 2, then a 1 here. It means your number line will be something like this. If again there was an equal sign here, maybe it was saying equal to here. It means here now you'll just say equal sign here. My phone is ringing, and then it will be something like this. Do you see that? So if it's like that now, let's move past that now. So moving past that now, it just means you'll have something like this. It was just a means of what? Of me elaborating this. So I hope now you do understand what is happening. So now let's solve an equation now. So now solving, it means you'll have the following. They'll give you a question, which maybe the question will say x into, and then x minus x minus a 7, and then this will be plus 17 less than a 0. So now go back to my explanation. So if maybe you didn't understand how I did this, I'll say that to maybe open the textbook. You'll see what I'm talking about. So this is 17. So you'll see it. So this thing is more like what? It will say like, to solve this one, first find the product here so that you can rewrite the question in standard form. So here you'll have what? X squared, and then minus 7, what? X, and then plus a 17, and then less than a 0. So now it just means like now solve this thing. Solving, you can just use the quadratic formula here. You get 7, the square root of 7 squared minus 4a, and then a will just mean what is a? A is 1, and then 17, and then divided by 2. This is not a 17. This is a 12. So it means your equation will say x minus a 4, and then another part will be what? X minus a 3, then less than a 0. So once you have these, now it just means we go back to what I just explained to you. It means because there is a less than, it means your x will be here, and then which one will be the lowest value here? The lowest value will be what? Will be the 3 here, and then the 4 will be here. And then your number line now will be something like this. And then this will be a 3, and then this will be a 4, and then this is this. And then you're done. So I think now I'm going to do the last question. This is solving what? Simultaneous equation. So now let's say that you are having let me write it here. So you're solving a simultaneous equation. So solving a simultaneous equation, here they've given us x is equals to 3y minus a 5. And then here you're having a 2x minus a y. And then x plus a y, and then is equals to a 0. So here, if you have to check here, they've already made what x the subject of the formula for you, and then you have got this here. So I'll say that find the product of this and then replace the value of x, which is this one, in this equation. So you will say this is your equation what? Equation 1, and then maybe this is your equation 2 for what? For this case. It just means here, finding the product, you will have, let me write it here. You'll get 2x squared and then plus 2xy. Then again, you'll have minus yx and then negative y squared. So this is still what? Equation 2. Now, your next step should be what? Substitute what? Equation 1 into equation 2. So once you have this now, it just means where there is x, place 3y minus 5. So you'll have 2 into, this is 3y minus a 5. This is squared, plus this is 2 into, where there is an x, you write 3y minus 5, and then 2x, and then this is y here, and then minus y into 3y minus minus 5 here, and then minus 3. No, here I won't say anything. It will just be y what? Y squared. So let me check before. This is x squared, where there is x squared. Yeah, 3y minus 5, that's fine. And then 2, you've got 2. And then 3y. Let me write this y here so that I don't forget it. 2y into, and then x, which is 3y minus 5, minus, where there is x, I place 3y minus 5 minus y. Okay. Now, if I'm to simplify what is within this bracket, I'll get a 9y squared minus, here you need to say 3 multiplied by 5, it gives you a 15. And then that answer which you got, multiply it by 2, it means you get what? 30 here, 30y. Because I said 3 multiplied by 5, it gives you a 15. 5, 10, 15. That negative 15 multiplied by 2. And then you get your answer. And then here, 5 squared, it will be positive what? 25. So you'll have something like this. And then plus. Here is just a matter of you saying 6y squared minus 10y. So here you're having 2y multiplied by 3y. It gives you what? It gives you 3y squared. And then now, 2 multiplied by 5, just a 10y. And then minus. Check now. You're going to say 3, not 3. Y multiplied by 3, y, it will just going to give you, it's just going to give you 3y squared minus negative y multiplied by 5 here. It's just going to give you a positive 5y, and then minus y squared equals to 0. And then let me simplify this. 9 multiplied by 2 is going to give me 18y squared minus 2 multiplied by 30 is going to give me a 60 y plus a 50. And then this side I'll just be having 6y squared minus 10y minus 3y squared plus 5y minus y squared is equals to 0. Now, add the like terms. So adding the like terms, it means you'll add 18 and 6 and 3 and what? And y. So it means we'll have 18 plus a 6, it will give us 24. 24 minus a 3 to give us 21. 21 minus a 1, it gives us a 20. Now, let's come to the things which are having what? Which are having a y. We'll have 60y and negative 10y and also what? 5y. So it means you say 60 minus a 10, negative 60 minus negative 10, it will give you a negative 70. Negative 70 plus a 5, it will give you what? Here I'm saying that you get negative 60, negative 70, negative 70 minus a 5, you get a 65y. And then here you will still be having the plus what? Plus 25. No, not 25, a 50 here. I'm still trying to check something that... Okay, let's move past that. Now, divide the whole equation by 5. Means here you'll get a 4 squared minus... Divide the 65 by what? By 5. How much will you get? 65 divided by 5. Get a 13 here. 13y plus 5 divided by 50 divided by 5. You get a 10. It's equals to this. Now, factorize this equation. Now, factorizing, you'll get 13 plus the square root of 13 squared minus 4a. What is a? It's 4. Then c, 10 divided by 8. So here, it means you get y minus a 2, and then y 4y minus a 5 is equals to a 0. Now, once you have this now, you can say y is equals to a 2. And then y is equals to 5 over a 4. So after this now, what you need to do now, go back here and replace here so that you can get the values of what? Of x. So you'll have x is equals to, you'll have 3 into 2 and then minus a 5 is equals to. Now, 3 multiplied by 2 is a 6. 6 minus a 5, you get a 1. And then x is equals to, and then 3 into 5 minus your 5 over 4, and then minus a 5. And then 3 into then 5 over a 4, and then minus a 5. So it means here you'll get negative 5 over a 4 as your final answer. So this is just basically what you would have done, or you were expected to do, or you're expected to do when solving a simultaneous equation. So I know that there are many ways of solving solving something, but maybe a simultaneous equation. There are many ways of solving it, but I saw that this was the easiest way to solve it. So I'll go through the comments and then check which next topic to do, because I think now I did my best to assist with algebra. Meaning our next session, I'll check. Maybe we'll talk about trig ratios or trig identities, or what do you call this thing? Talking about solving your general solutions and maybe specific solutions. Because what I've noticed, it's a bit difficult to draw graphs here. If it's a matter of maybe of doing functions, I can try to just do it. I'll see how to do it. But yeah, for today I was just doing algebraic functions or equations. So I'll say that for you to know when I'll be going live again, I think there on my link on my bio, there's a link to my WhatsApp wherein you can join. So there are two groups there. If you have to check, there's one wherein there is free and also there is paid one, because I'm a private tutor. So in most cases, I do this on my free time. So now I had some free time, so I was like, let me just be helping out. So there, I would say join the group which is saying what, which is saying free, and then I'll post the link in that group whenever I go online, so that at least you'll have what, you'll have that reminder, or you get alerted. So yeah, sharp. So until next time, thank you, thank you.